Okay, let's welcome Athi and Muki with a big round of applause.
Thanks for coming in. I know it's a short notice for all of you guys, but you're going to enjoy. So we have people from different colleges. Jain, then we have somebody from IAM, then Jyoti. Oh, I love Jyoti Niwas. Okay, then what other college? Dayanand Sagar, I love it. Okay, then that's close to my house. Then that's very nice. Thanks so much for coming in here. So I'm going to give you a brief about Athi and where he comes from so that you all can connect with him. Life is all about connection, right? Connections is what create experiences in our life. You connect with your parents, connect with your college, you connect with mountains, nature, everything is a connection. Yeah. So the more and more you come away from your mind and connect with your heart, that's what we say, we love what we do. Do you know why we say we love what we do? Because when you love something, there is no expectation. You just love it. Intensely you do things. Unless until you focus in your life intensely, you will never go forward in your career. One of the biggest mistakes I have done in my life in the last 30 years of my career is not focusing on one thing, but focusing on multiple things. Whenever you focus on multiple things, it's extremely hard to come up in life. So how come Athi came up to this level in his life? So that's where we are going to ask him, and we'll ask him all tough questions. All right? So Adi was born in Nagarkoil, which is near Kanyakumari in Tamil Nadu. Yeah. And he did his schooling there. Then he moved to Calicut NIT, right? Yeah. So he did not go to IAM, IIT, and all the most difficult places, right? Then in the initial days, he worked for Bose Corporation, which manufactures one of the finest speakers in the world, right? You all would have seen it. Then he worked with many IT companies. In 2006, he moved to the US. Yeah. And he joined Darden in 2012. And he's the VP of Restaurant Systems. So he's been working with Darden for the last 11 years. 11 years, same company. Yeah. Remember, you can all do everyday new stuff. But it's very, very hard to do the same stuff every day consistently. Yeah. Right? We are fortunate at Pepper Square to meet and work with Athi, and we have had a wonderful relationship in the last 3 years. So what is Darden? As I said, they are a full-service dining restaurant. They are a $13 billion company, 1-3. They are so connected. That's what I started with, connected. They are heart-to-heart company. Yeah. It's very hard to find a partner like that. It's very hard to find a client like that. He comes from a humble background. His mother was a school teacher. Father was a assistant postmaster. He lost his dad at the age of 13. Yeah. How many of you have lost your loved ones? Your father, mother, your brother, sister? Has anybody lost? I have lost. It's extremely hard to lose your loved ones. Do you know why? When you lose your enemy, a portion of you is gone, because nobody can become an enemy unless until you loved them before. Hate comes after love. Yeah. When you lose your loved ones, a part of your system is gone. It will never come back till the end of your life. It will never come back. So it's very hard to lose someone. I have lost my daughter at the age of 6.5 years ago for a rarest form of cancer called rhabdomyosarcoma. I lost my wife after that. She died in her sleep when I was in America 4.5 years ago. And I understand what loss is. But I may not be able to understand all your loss, because loss is very different. So your experience is very different. So this whole session, Mastering Your Journey, a Career Advancement Fireside Chat, it means that we want to fire you guys up. Yeah. What you do after that, I don't know. I'm not here to change you. He's not here to change you. But we are here to share our experience. Most of the people don't want to upgrade their skill, right? I heard Srini talking about upgrading skills. I always say to everyone that you must upgrade skill. There is absolutely no age limit to upgrade skill. Yeah. The last one is, Aarthi is married to Athi, and Aarthi and Athi, right? They met in Namma Bengaluru in 1998. Yeah. And they have 3 boys. All their name starts with A. He's a marathon runner. I've been telling Athi, slow down. Yeah. But he's been running every day. How many kilometers do you run every day? How many miles do you run every day?
Monday to Friday, 5K. And Saturday, it is a half marathon.
Lovely. So with that, I wanted to just shut up and then ask questions to Athi. Athi, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you.
This is the first time Athi has come to Pepper Square, so we thought, what's the better opportunity than call the Young India?
Yep.
Do you agree with me? Yes. Fantastic.
Thank you.
How hard was your childhood, Athi?
About my childhood, as a child, I never felt anything different. It was just normal for me. But when I look back at my childhood, I feel, very happy to be where I am today from where I started. I did not have, we used to have coffee without milk because milk was expensive. We used to have coffee without sugar because sugar was expensive. We used to have karupatti, which is a palm sugar. We used to use that for coffee. I didn't have a proper slipper, and my uncle gave me a challenge saying, if you get 90% in your 10th grade, I'll buy you one. And I got my 10th grade marks. Those days it was difficult. I scored 450 out of 500. And I got my first slipper. That was 49 rupees back then.
Which year was it?
This was 1988. Yes. And then I didn't have a watch. So my uncle said he will give me a watch if I score more than 1,000 marks in 12th grade. So I did. My 12th grade, I got 1,101, and I got my first watch from him.
Athi, I'm feeling very insecure because I failed 5 times in mathematics in 12th standard.
So he has studied the same subject 5 times. He probably remembers it more than how much I did. It was a deprived childhood. I lost my dad when I was in my 8th grade. Single mom, government school teachers were not paid that much. We were 5 kids. It was a struggle. We didn't have a mixie at home. In my 12th grade, when I got scholarship, because of the mark, I got a local scholarship for 1,200 rupees. And I bought a mixie for my mom. It was a Sumit mixie, smaller one, for 900 rupees. My mom gave me the 200 back. I just took 5 rupees from that to eat some parota and salna, and I gave the remaining to my mom. So, I didn't mean to say it to be touching. We were financially deprived, but at the same time, we were happy. We were a lot more happier than how we were today. So we didn't feel it that time. It was just how life was. So
lovely, fantastic. So with all that, can you share some fun stories and craziest thing you have done in your college? You have done all crazy things. I have heard this. I want everybody to listen to that.
Okay, how many?
Because they'll all be inspired by that.
NIT Calicut.
Oh,
yes.
Wow, lovely.
Very
Very nice.
NIT Calicut? Oh, man, that's such a great thing. That's so great. Thank you. So I was a chairman of the college union and president of Students' Federation of India in my college days. So I was involved in all the strikes that you can think of. The 2 incidents I remember the most was a very long strike because the principal was against allowing college union elections to be held. And I was I was leading that strike in the college it went on for 22 days. And, it was a marathon strike. And finally, the assistant district magistrate, his name was Mr. Mohanan, he came to mediate. And the mediation lasted for 16 hours without a break. And at a point, when I spoke, the sound wasn't coming because I was shouting all slogans and leading it. That was, we won we got the union election started in RSC Calicut, and I stood for the union election. So that was a great thing. And then the second thing, the principal said a politician cannot enter the campus. And I said, if that is the case, sir, you have to get out of the campus because you are playing worse politics than the politicians outside. So it was always a tough between the principal and me. And he cancelled the college union election in the last minute, the college union inauguration in the last minute. Charu Hassan, Kamal Hassan's brother, had come down from Chennai for the inauguration of the college union. And we had Mubarak Swami, the student, I remember those names, back in those days. He was a politician that we invited. We broke open the auditorium doors against the closure, and we conducted the college union inauguration. Charu Hassan said he would not be able to come into the college because he's an advocate. He said, I cannot break the law. So he was in our college guest house. He said, I cannot come. one of our friends had a ham radio. I don't know if you know what's a ham radio, like the walkie-talkie that the policemen use. So we got an idea, sent a ham radio to the guest house, and I had another ham radio in my hand. And I said, the principal can stop people from being here physically, but he cannot, defeat us on our challenge. The inauguration of the college union will be done at the time, at the place, by the same person that we said, Charu Hasan. And then I put that ham radio in front of the mic. And the next day in the paper front news, they said, first time in history, a college union got inaugurated through ham radio.
So you have broken so many things, but have you broken anybody's heart?
Oh yes, that's.
Or somebody has broken your heart.
Actually, you are right. It's the second part. So, that was a place where I had my first two-way love.
Two-way love.
Yeah, the first two-way love. Before then, I've had 3 loves, and each of all those 3 cases, 50% of love was over. Everything from my side was over. I didn't get anything from the other side. But college was when I met my first love. It lasted for a short while only. That was a good incident too. Yeah.
So what was your first job, and how did you move to Bose Corporation?
It was difficult to get a first job. So I worked for, I was looking for the right job. And how I got into Bose was very interesting. I was actively looking for a job, and I got interviewed for Bose. And the interview was done by 3 foreigners. One was from Australia, one was from US, and another one was from France or Germany. So it was done in a 5-star hotel. I had never been to a 5-star hotel till then. It was in Delhi. So I was very intimidated. They asked me a lot of questions, and the second person asked me the same set of questions as the first one, and the third one did. And through the interview, they asked me if I want to drink anything. I said coffee. That was the first visit in 5-star. Normally, if you go to Sagar, coffee is a coffee, right? So they gave a jug of coffee, and then I poured the coffee, and I started drinking it. There was no milk. There was no sugar. It was just the black coffee.
So it took you back in time.
Yeah. And then towards the end of the interview, they said, what was the most difficult question that you had? I said, the difficulty was not in the question. It was in the coffee. Drinking the coffee was very difficult. And then they laughed. And then they asked what happened. I said, because there was no milk and sugar. They said, you should have asked for it, because they keep it on the side separately. That was funny. And then they selected me because I had no knowledge of acoustics. They said, you have no knowledge of acoustics, so we are selecting you for the job. That was very weird. The idea is, Bose looks at acoustics in a very different dimension. So if you were previously knowledge in one area, you had to unlearn that and then learn it the Bose way. So I was a raw mold of clay. That's how the gentleman said. You had the spark in you, you can learn, and you're curious, you don't know anything. So I got selected. But that turned out to be one of the most memorable job that I've ever had. I had the maximum fun in my life, and during Bose.
Lovely. From Bose to IT industry, that's a massive difference, right? So why did you join IT industry?
Again, a great question. So it's almost like I would think of myself as a satellite in orbit around the Earth, right? So I was in an orbit. It was a great place, very comfortable. I loved the job. I stayed in, you name any benefit, the company was providing it for me. I was the only person in South India.
So you stayed, I remember you stayed in a hotel for so many years. 1 year. Yeah. For 1 year. Can you believe that? So they made him stay in a hotel for 1 year. I've never done that.
I mean, that was a very funny story. I had an opportunity. I was in Delhi, Bose speakers, and then they were supposed to send me to Singapore for training, and I had not flown a flight till then, and so I was very excited that going abroad for Singapore, and then there was a problem in Bangalore. So Kemp Fort, I don't know if it is still there. Kemp Fort was
shut.
I see.
It is shut.
So it was getting inaugurated, and there was a major escalation. They used Bose speakers. So there was a major escalation saying that they were not happy. So the company's head in India, he called me, Ratish Pandey, and said, Adi, you have 2 choices. If you want, you can go to Hong Kong, or there's a problem in Bangalore, you can go there and fix it. I chose the Bangalore one.
Lovely.
So I said, okay, let me go ahead and fix the problem. And then I took the flight to Bangalore. I was told it was a 3-day trip. I came here. Third day, I called him back to say, there's no way this is going to work. This design is so totally flawed. We have to do it from scratch. It's going to cost a lot of money. But Bose as an organization believed in delivering the best quality sound. Right? So they said, we'll bite the bullet. Go ahead and do whatever you have to do and get it right. I said, it'll take a lot more time. They said, yeah, you don't come back till you finish it. I said, I had only clothes for 3 days. The company said, go ahead and buy whatever you want from Bangalore and get it reimbursed.
Lovely.
So I stayed in a hotel, Comfort Inn in Infantry Road. I stayed there for 1 year, and the daily rent back in those days was 1,800 rupees, like 1998. Yeah, 1,800 per day.
That's a lot of money at that time.
Yeah. So Bose was too good. It is very comfortable. But I thought that I would continue to be an employee of Bose. But I wanted to own a Bose system. Being an employee is different than owning a Bose system. So when I resigned, the CFO asked me the same question, and I told him that I want to own a Bose system. And he said, you name a Bose system that you want, it's yours. Take it right away. Then I told him, sir, but Ratish ji, a Bose system doesn't fit well in any place. You need to have a house that can fit a Bose system. It has to have the right ambience. So I need a good house. And I need to have a Bose system in my car. So I need to get a car. And that lifestyle that I'm expecting to get to, I will not get to if I work here.
Lovely.
So I need to change and jump to a different orbit. You know how a rocket jumps from one orbit to the other? What does it do to go up? Yeah, and what does it do? It lets out something. Wait. It actually takes a part of it and then say, I don't want it anymore. So I had to let go of the great job that I had, take a chance to be able to leapfrog into the next orbit.
Lovely.
And my destination was clear. I would get to the lifestyle that I want only if I reach US. And so I chose my destination, and the only way to get there is IT. So with a lot of reluctance, I had zero knowledge in IT, but I joined IT.
Lovely. When you said about letting go, it's a beautiful thought, what you said. I remember once I read this is truth, you can go figure it out. Eagle, do you know how long eagle lives? 40 years. Okay, in the half of their life, their beak, right? That's what it's called. It starts falling off. It becomes weak, right? So without a beak, how can they eat? They cannot eat. So they have not gone to a school. So they have only one choice.
Yep.
The choice is that they have to go there, remove that, they go hit on a rock and break it till it bleeds, then it grows again. Then they live for next 20 years.
That's right.
So that's exactly what you are
Yep.
saying about
Absolutely.
letting go of your weight. We are not ready to let go of our comfort and convenience. We are all checking the phone. We can't let go. How many times you would have hugged your mother and father? You hug your cell phones every day more than 60 times.
Yeah.
Do you know that? You spend, all of you, not me, because I'm learning to cut it down, all of you on an average is spending 6.5 hours per day checking your cell phones, which is absolutely utter nonsense. It's not adding any value, an iota of value. Iota is a salt particle, right? So it doesn't add value. Unless until you remove your distraction, which is happening now, then you are not going to change it. I don't have a cell phone.
Yeah.
I'm not using it, right? So it's very important for all of you to understand what is distraction. The mind always distracts you.
Yeah.
So you have to let go of that, come back and start focusing. It's very, very hard. How easy was it to move to the US?
It was very difficult and not easy at all. So as I told you, I want to get there. So I had a long-term plan, and I was very sure that I'll get there. So it took a lot of time. I worked for different companies, acquiring new skills and knowledge, continue to learn. I would say on a daily basis, including Saturdays and Sunday, I worked for almost 16 hours a day, trying to enhance my knowledge. Continue to knock on the door. And In 2000, I got an opportunity to go to US on business visa for the work that I did. And so I did 3 trips, back-to-back business visa trips, but then, that gave me the exposure, but not the money and the freedom that I had. It was very limited. Those days were very, very difficult. But then I was sure that I will get back there. And finally, in 2004, I joined a company called Professional Access. And that turned out to be a dream destination. Professional Access was doing all major e-commerce projects for large retailers. Like in US, if you heard about Walmart, they are the top retailers. So back then I joined Professional Access when it was a small company, worked very hard. 2006, I got an opportunity to move to US through Professional Access. So finally, like from 1999, when I joined IT, it took me till 2006, 7 years. And a lot of hard work to earn the reputation, the confidence of the leaders to be able to go there.
Brilliant. So after your NIT, you went to the US, you also did some small course, and I'm going to talk about it.
Yeah.
If I'm not wrong, you did go to the same college as Rahul Gandhi at Rollins in Florida.
Yeah.
And why did you want to do that, and what did you do there?
I'm a firm believer in continuous learning. You have to get better every day. You cannot stop growing. Especially technology is one area. If you stop learning, you stop growing and you become irrelevant. So even today, I continue to learn. As a part of that, I always wanted to learn more about management in a proper sense. It is a fantastic program.
Yeah.
So I did an executive mini MBA.
Lovely.
So I used
How
to
many
work
years was it?
It was for 6 months.
6 months.
Yeah, it was for
So
6 months.
were you working and then
Yeah,
doing it?
absolutely.
So
I
which
was
means
working.
you finish your work and then go to.
Absolutely. You wouldn't believe I drove crazy. I would have gotten many traffic tickets just to be there on time after finishing my work. It was very difficult. That was, I would say, very difficult in terms of managing my time, including weekends. But it turned out to be very good. I learned a lot of concepts. I got an opportunity to learn from some of the best lecturers.
So what does career advancement mean to you?
Till recently, I was in like many of you out there, I was in a misconception that career advancement, meaning chasing titles. You want to go from a developer to a senior developer to a lead to an architect, and then a manager, and then a senior manager, and then a director, and then senior director, and then vice president, and then senior vice president, and then CIO, right? Like I told you, the complete hierarchy of an organization in IT typically. I was chasing the titles. Career development, if you would have asked me this question about three years back, I would have said it is getting to the goal of achieving your title. That is not it is. It is not about what you are. It's about what you become.
Lovely.
Career development has to be replaced with what I would call as professional development. How do I become a better professional is how we want to term it. Very different mindset, because chasing a title will lead you to the path of shortcuts that you want to make to get to a title. You know what it takes to be a CEO? One day. Just go, register a company, probably 1,000 rupees or 5,000 rupees. Register a company's name. You are the CEO of that company. Correct? Is that what you want to become? No. So you have to change that to say, I want to be a great leader. Right? So that is who you are, who you become to be. So to me, this concept of career progression, career development is so outdated and irrelevant. It has to be replaced with a more effective, what I call as professional development. How do I become a better professional? And then once you reach a stage, I think I'm in that stage, where more than professional development, you start channeling it towards personal development. Right? How do I become a better person? Right? It is a little reverse. But it is true that you start doing things more for the long term, connected to your purpose and so on. So please keep that in mind. Don't try to be a follower, but be a student.
Lovely. So
If
in
you're a
Instagram
follower-
and social media, we only follow.
That is a problem, because when you follow, you become a blind follower, right?
It's a herd mentality.
Yes. If you follow, your favorite cricketer, if he drinks Boost, you have to drink Boost, right? That is followership. But you be a student,
Lovely.
okay? Then you can develop and be a good leader. So that is that will be my advice to the future leaders that I see here in the room. Focus on what you are becoming. That is the real investment that you need to make.
Fantastic. Working in America is very stressful,
It is.
right?
Yes.
And how do you cope up with it?
So stress is an integral part of my life. There is I cannot avoid stress. So when people say, how do you avoid stress, I think that is a myth. Okay, you have to accept stress as a part of your life, and it's about how do you respond to stress. I love stress. I really love it because that is how it brings the best in me. A strong challenge is what brings the best. So when I get stressed out, I'm normally very calm. I would be otherwise very talkative. When I'm stressed out, I'm normally very calm. I tend to focus on what I do as basics. They say back to basics. That is what I do when I'm stressed out. But then there are a few things that in life I try to do to avoid the negative impact of a stress. One, I try to look at my wins to see what I have accomplished so far. Sometimes just to boost your confidence to say, this is not the end of life. This will also pass by, right? And that doesn't take much time. And the moment you think about your accomplishments, you feel, yeah, that's good. I am enough, right? And boost your confidence. And then try to do things that are connected to your heart, passionately, that you like about. I like watching cricket. I like watching Tamil movies, Ilayaraja songs, or I go for a long drive. What I don't do is I don't drink when I am stressed, because I don't want that to be the medicine. Then I will have to drink every day. So I really receive it openly, and I run, I do workouts. You will see my exertion of my negative energy there in the field or in the workouts and gym. Try to burn it out, and then trust me, I always come back with a clear mind, a solve for the problems. There's not a single problem that has not been solved. I feel that nature automatically makes its way for you.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So you just need to stand there and do what you're doing. Continue to believe that the solution will come. It will come.
Lovely. My next question is, you start early. I know that many times
Yeah.
when we call, many times Athi is at office at 7:15 early morning,
Yeah.
right? So why do you start early?
Yeah.
And what's the reason behind that?
See, everybody has 24 hours. So I think God is like, I don't know whether you believe in God or nature, but then they put 24 hours as your pocket money every day, irrespective whether you're good or bad, whether you're a criminal or a judge. They all get 24 hours equally, right? It's about how we use that time that matters. So if I have to be asked for a boon, I'll say I need more time, because we can do more when you have more time. So it's all about conserving your time and where you spend it the most when you're effective. So firstly, I love my son, and my evening time is my son's time, so I don't want to take it from him, and he doesn't get up early. So I try to take care of what I need to do before he gets up, so that I'm not taking my time from him. So I started waking up early so that I can get my workouts and everything else sorted out. But then I realized one thing. My mind is so fresh in the morning. I wake up at 5:30, and mind is clear, fresh. It is in a state of absorption. It is almost like a sponge that is ready to take water.
Lovely.
So whatever you read, whatever you do, you can do it with utmost focus. And what happens through the day is like your car windshield getting a lot of dust, right? So end of the day, with all the negativity, stress, your mind is so distracted, you'll not be at your best. So if you want to learn something, if you want to think about strategically how do we solve problems, the peaceful time you get is in the morning. So I like waking up early in the morning.
What's the most difficult challenge you faced in your life? How did you overcome?
So I was difficult challenge, like I would say this interview.
But you're not going to overcome.
Yeah, I know. I've been loving it so far. Thanks. So the challenge I had was in my college days. So Muki said I was from Nagarkoil. So I did my just a quick thing in till my 5th grade. I learned in Tamil. So I learned ABCD when I was 10 years old, and I couldn't understand the language, so I had difficulty. So somehow I did, and by 8th grade I picked up English enough to understand the books. So, and then I put in more hours. But I finished my 12th grade with, I was the second in the district in Kanyakumari. I did pretty well. When I joined REC Calicut, NIT Calicut, what you get is a cream of from all the states, the topmost intelligent folks, except me. I was the only odd man out there, I believe. So the competition becomes super heavy. You can't establish and be a leader. I was the first in my class all the days, right? So suddenly I was there are so many firsts there. And so I had to establish my own identity. And I was from a very suburban Nagarkoil. These guys were from Cosmos, like Chennai, and they were talking hi-fi things. They knew programming. I said, what was computer? I had no idea of a computer when I came to my college. So that to me was a most challenging situation. I lost my identity. I was in a place that I had no support for. It's not like you can call the phone. My mom didn't have a phone. I didn't have any friends. The food was new to me. It is like Tamil Nadu to Calicut was totally different. I'm a vegetarian too. So I struggled a lot. I went through serious depression. But then I think that was where a leader was born in me.
Lovely.
I thought I was in a well. I got into serious depression. And, what I found in the well was gold.
Athi, you're not going to believe this. I have to cut you short there.
Yeah.
My next question is, do you get depressed?
Yes.
If so, how to manage it? If not, what is your advice? Because
that is
today, wellness is something nobody understands. Wellness does not mean looking good, right? So wellness means many aspects. Number one, you need to know what you're eating.
Yeah.
What you eat is who you are. There is a very old saying in India, you tell me what you eat, I'll tell you who you are. Number one. Yeah. Second, this body is a miracle. The God is inside this. None of us are taught.
True.
So it's very important for all of you to understand what this body is. Mm-hmm. The body has a brain, but that's just like a hard drive. It stores data, sends signals, it makes you lift hands and this and that, that's it, done.
Yeah.
Nothing else it does. Then there is a mind, which is madness. Whenever you think that that's the girl for you, the mind says, no, there are 3 other girls. Whenever the guy comes and says, I love you, you think, no, he's lying. So how do you know what's happening? So the mind takes you in different places. Am I true or not? Yeah, see. So what is this mind? Mind is, this is the way I say it. As of all the intelligence we have today over the last thousands of years, as of today they say the mind is coming from the cells of your forefathers, foremothers. For example, when you are born, the cell, when the sperm hits the egg, the cell splits, right? So it's 50% gets split. So then again, it keeps splitting 50. So which means you have, as per today's research, the data you have, it's called cell memory. The data you have is 65,000 years old. From all those people. So which means on an average, if you think people lived for 100 years, so you have 6,500 people sitting in you and taking you in every single direction. So Whereas this is the mind. Mind is a mad monkey as well as a, mastermind, right?
Yeah.
Then you have consciousness. When you're thinking that, am I writing this exam well? Something says, yeah, I think you are writing well. That's the consciousness. What is consciousness? It's universal for all of us. So it's very important to understand, how do we know when the person is crying, whether they are happy or sad? We know it. Nobody taught us. So there are so many people I come across in my life who change their life, right? So it's very important. One of the reasons why we are doing session here, I'm very thankful to Pepper Square. Even though I started this company 21 years ago in 2002, I had only I didn't have money at all. My cousin gave me 550 rupees to register peppersquare.com. That's the way I started. So before I started this company, I got a client first. I didn't start the company, then look for a client. This is the problem. You all have a cell phone, then you start talking to your parents. I'm saying you first spend time with your parents, then get your cell phone. Right? So that doesn't need. Nothing requires anything except your effort, your heartfelt feeling, right? So when I went to the customer, one of my first customer in Bangalore, and I went there, I told him, the whole deal was I need to design a visiting card. And then he said that his name was Santosh. Santosh asked me, Muki, you don't have a card and you are going to design my card. So I told him that, Santosh, I don't need a card because I have already won your heart. You are going to give me the money. He said, how sure you are? I said, I'm very sure because I'm the best guy, because I work hard, I'm smart, I can understand your business. Then he gave me 10,000 rupees to start Pepper Square. The reason I'm asking about wellness is most of the people today I come across, they are depressed. My question is, do you get depressed? If so...
So the answer is definitely yes. In the college...
How often do you get depressed?
I used to be depressed very often and lonely, not having the right company. I was really working, how it is in REC Calicut, NIT. All in the hostel rooms, almost every boy's rooms, they'll be filled with posters of actors and actors, so let me put it that way. And I used to have this as the poster in my college room. I just searched in Google
what is
for...
that? That's a painting by...
I don't even know who was a painter.
Okay.
I just searched for the boy crying. You can see this boy, right? There's so much of depth in this painting. This boy has so much of intensity in his eyes. You can see a few drops of tears. He's not crying as in crying, but these are tears that are overflowing from the heart. This is not an expression of emotional outcry. It is a deep wound coming out as tears. So I related myself to this picture. I saw this every day, and especially when I'm in depression, I would do this. So I don't recommend you to have this poster. But then I decided that I will not give up. That is the one thing that I did.
Lovely.
Which is, I could have gone in a totally different direction had I fed into the negative energy. Because when you are in that state, it looks as if the world is dark. The only thing that is visible are your problems. And you get into the victim mindset as if you are the one and everything is happening against you. And trust me when I say this, when things go wrong, they go wrong at the same time. Right? So when you have one problem, that is when the world of problems will come pouring on you to say, oh, this person is taking one problem, I'll give more. So it is like a cyclic effect. You get caught in this constant thing, and then you get lost. The mistake that people do is they don't ask for help.
Beautiful.
So, I just want to tell a quick story. Steve Jobs, when he was looking for a job, I don't know how many of you know this. He was trying to put together. He finished his college or whatever. He was trying to put together a computer in his garage. He didn't have a part, so he looked up the yellow page and he saw a name called Packard, Packard, who was one of the founders, right, HP. So he just picked up the phone and called the Packard and said, sir, I am looking for this part, can you give it? And the gentleman on the other side said, sorry son, I don't give gifts.
I don't give
the
gifts.
part costs you so much, you can, if you are ready to pay, we can get it. Yeah, sure, I don't mind paying money for that, can you send it to me? And Packard answered the phone and he sent the part. Along with that, he also sent an invitation saying, if you want to join for internship, join my company. And you know where Steve Jobs ended. That was the first thing. So he sought help. And asking for help is not wrong.
Beautiful.
It is required. So please seek out help. I couldn't ask for help because I didn't have anybody to help me around. But then, you know, there was one person who could help me. Yourself. You have to help yourself. And that's what I did. You know, an elephant, if it falls in a ditch, it tries to climb up, tries to catch on anything that it can hold, right? If you close a fly in a bottle, it'll try to come out. Then we are human beings. We are like supposed to be bigger fighters than those, right? What happened to our fighting spirits? I can't understand why would somebody choose a path of suicide. That's like, you know, I would actually say that person has to be punished. You have to bring the fighter in you to say that you can win any challenge. And then solve the problem. Look at it pragmatically. My problem was I didn't have friends, I didn't have a company, I didn't have my identity. So I was lost. I said, okay, here you go. I'm going to build an identity and do what you are good at doing. I was good at speaking because I had spoken in Tamil elocution competitions. So I joined a group of people and I started speaking. And I didn't know that it turned out to be a student body, and automatically I got acquaintances, and then it was a totally different game for me. And once the result starts coming, your depression gets subdued. So I think I would say first seek help, and even if you don't get help, help yourself and do what you are good at. I am 100% sure that each of you here have something that you are good at.
Absolutely.
100% sure.
Absolutely.
If you have not found it, you have to find it. Okay. And then bring that quality in you, work on it, and find your way out. Okay. And trust me, the world has become a lot better place now. There are a lot of people to help.
Yes.
Ask for help. Okay. I want to help, so ask me.
Lovely. So it's wonderful you said that, because today the most biggest disease people face is that they underestimate their capabilities. That's the biggest disease we all have. I have gone through that so many times in my life, right? So today I don't do that. It's very important for all of you to understand that you are all unique. Each one of us are unique. We are not manufactured in a Maruti conveyor belt manufacturing plant. So we are very unique. Before you came, this place was empty. After you are gone, this place will be empty. It will never be filled by anybody. That's the time you understand the power of this life as a gift. The purpose of life is gift.
Absolutely.
It's what else do you want more than living in this world? There are millions of sperm which went. Only one came out. That's all of us here. Right?
Exactly.
So,
And you're the fighter, you're the winner.
Absolutely.
So if anybody is interested, you can go to look for I Am Enough, Marisa Peer in YouTube. You know, I would strongly recommend you all to go through this. You know, often the depression is because you feel you are not enough, but you are enough.
nice, lovely thought. You have had a full circle of life.
Yep.
Right? You drive a nice car. You have a new house, Athi.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yes.
You had a full circle of life.
Yes.
So I'm very happy for you.
Yes.
And it's you have come here because of your hard work.
Yes.
And of course, so many people helped you, as you said. You asked for help and things like that.
Right.
But unless until there is an inertia inside, there is
Yeah.
an energy inside,
Yeah.
you cannot go forward, right?
That is right.
You attract what there is a saying, right? You attract what you seek.
Yeah.
Right? So that's why in India we always say we are a seeking and searching society.
Yeah.
We are a people of seeking and searching. We are not people of knowledge.
Yeah.
Because knowledge creates bias, right? So you have had a full circle of life. So what is next? What's keeping you going?
I've found my purpose in life to be able to make a difference. You know, as I start thinking about my end, I really want to leave lasting footprints in this world.
That's why we have brought you here, Athi. A lot of people normally when they come here, every year we used to have before COVID around 1,500 students coming from all over the world. We have had folks coming from Berkeley, Stanford, IITs and Dayanand Sagar to every other place. So we had interns coming from Carnegie Mellon Institute, right?
Yeah.
Because of COVID, everything is started. I'm very happy that we are starting. This is not the first one. We have had a couple of them. But this is a great time that you all can learn from the people. True. Otherwise, you'll never get this opportunity. It's very important for you to ask one question. Yes. Why is that they are where they are?
Absolutely.
It's very easy to look at Shah Rukh Khan. I've seen him personally. I've met him before. I've met many. I'm fortunate to meet some of the finest of the finest. So there was a friend of mine, Athi, you love Rajinikanth. So I wanted to tell you this.
He's one person I follow, even though
Yes.
I told you not to follow anybody.
Correct. So next time when you are, I used to work with Kamal Hassan. He was my first guru in my life.
Yeah.
So I had an opportunity to work with Kamal Hassan to do strategy for his Makkal Needhi Mayam, which is his political party. So when Kamal's 50th anniversary it happened in Chennai, your boss, superstar, was there. So I met him closely one-on-one. Wow. Amazing energy. The man has gone through various health problems and stuff. He has no qualms about accepting it. Yeah. So I wanted to tell you something very interesting about Shah Rukh. There's a friend of mine used to work in UTV. Mm-hmm. One of the Rani Screwwala started the company, then he sold it to Sony. And he was, at that time, I think they were doing Chennai Express or something like that many years ago, 10 years ago maybe. And so the shoot got over. That was the last day. Cut short that story. So he goes to the director. The director says, so there is some problem here. Yeah. He said, where is the problem? The problem is with whom? I said, it's a problem with the Shah Rukh shot and I'm not happy about it. Why? Can't we adjust it and blah, blah, blah. He said, we can't do it. So what's the deal? We need to somehow bring Shah Rukh back. He said, hey, he's leaving to Hong Kong or some other place, US, the next day morning. And Shah Rukh left at 1:30 a.m. This was just 10 years ago. He was a multi-millionaire. Just to tell you, he's going to be a billionaire very soon, and he has built everything from his hard work and smart thinking. Yeah. So he called Shah Rukh at 1:45 or 1:30 he left. I think he called him at 2 o'clock or 2:30 or something like that. Shah Rukh picked up the phone. 2:30 he said, what's the deal? He said, this is what happened. 3:30 Shah Rukh was back in action. 3:30 a.m. the man got up and went there, finished the shoot.
That is true.
Went back. That is the man of commitment. Shah Rukh is extremely consistent in what he does. I've seen him, but I've seen him one-on-one, but he doesn't know me, but I know him. Right. I look up to him for many other things. So we have many things to learn, like Absolutely. What you said.
Yeah, my last, the steps that I'm in now is more about, I'm continuing to learn. I have not reached the, a place where I feel I'm enough. I still have to do more, and I will continue to do more. But I'm also starting to work on mentoring, coaching other team members internally and externally from within my company and outside the company. As I'm learning, I'm also starting to share what I'm learning. So I'm not going to take people to their destination. So don't lease your career to me. I don't want it. Okay? You have to own your career. You have to own your life. I can be standing there with a lantern in your dark cave, just show the light. You have to choose your path and walk. So I really am looking at empowering the mind of people. And, I think there's a lot of energy that can be brought to life if only all of us know what we are capable of.
Lovely.
That'll be my...
What are the 3 essential pieces of advice you would give the young Indians to shine in their career?
Yeah. Firstly, India is already shining. Indians are shining wherever you
Absolutely.
go. This is a great country. So first thing that I would say is don't take shortcuts in life. The shortcuts are easy, they are tempting, but don't take them. There is no replacement for hard work. If you want results, you have to put the effort. It's as simple as it. Yes, some of them may win a lottery, but not everybody wins a lottery. You can't take that as your method for becoming rich. Second is work for the long term. Because what happens is many of you have short-term goals and you work short-term and make decisions for the short-term choices. I see kids getting money now easily. You just join a call center and then you get money, right? You don't have to really do anything else and then you start tasting money. Money is tempting, correct? Money is very tempting. Working is boring, correct? So what you tend to do is to avoid the boring stuff, and then take the ones that is tempting you, which is money, and then that's it. You will continue to be in that level. You wouldn't be able to really proceed forward. I'm not saying anything bad about people who are in call centers. They are doing such a great service, many of them. But, get to it if that is your area of passion. And I have taken some long-term decisions in my life. As I said, when I left Bose, it was a long-term decision. I compromised on all what I was earning. I cut down my salary from, to 3 times. I agreed for a very low salary because I knew I wanted to get a bigger entry in the long term. And number 3, don't ever give up. Don't ever give up. Okay. I see a lot of people working hard and then, I'm not getting results, so I'm going to give up. Don't do that. A person is digging for gold. That person goes up to 100 feet and then doesn't find the gold, leaves it. And then somebody else comes and then digs for 1 foot and then finds the gold there. What do you call this as? Some will say his fate was not good, he was not lucky, and the other person was lucky, right? That is not it. He would have gotten the gold had he continued to dig. So, know what you want, go for it, continue to do what you're doing till you get it.
Lovely.
Don't give up.
Lovely. We wanted to thank you with a big round of applause. And I wanted to thank you from Pepper Square side.
Yep.
And then we wanted to thank you for Darden.
Absolutely.
And all your family members to allow you to come here to us.
Yeah.
And with that, I wanted to throw open questions.
My name is Pawan. I'm a student at IIM.
Yeah.
So my question to Adi is, how important does the factor environment and the close circle plays in our life?
So it does. So it's like a plant, right? If you put a seed in a land that is not fertile, you can't expect results. Those are the decisions that we have to take. So environment plays a very, very important part. You can't change the environment, but you can find an environment that best suits you and then go there, right? You can decide whether you are in that environment or you want to move to a different environment that is conducive for your growth.
Lovely.
So, but you can't change this environment.
Yes.
And for all practical reasons, this environment may be ideal for somebody else. So, you can't change the environment, but you can change where you want to be. And then, if you are with 6 lawyers, you are likely to become a 7th lawyer, right? If you are with 6 thieves, you are likely to become 7th thief. So, if you are with 6 teachers, you are likely to become 7th teacher. So, you have to choose who you are with, okay? You can have friendship. There are few people that you cannot choose. Your father and mother, they are chosen and you have to take where they are. But you can choose the people that you spend time with.
Lovely.
Always make sure that you are in the company of the people who are slightly better than you, who can pull you towards them. While it is very nice to be in the company of people who are lower you because you'll be the boss and then they will say great things about you, but feel that you're going down. So always try to choose your company. Does it answer your question?
Yeah, brilliant question. Fantastic answer. There was a French writer who wrote this maybe 100 years ago. Tell me your friends and I'll tell you who you are. Bill Gates, when they asked him, I heard that this was like 20 years back, you know the story. They asked him that he was the youngest billionaire at that time in the world. And when they went and asked Bill Gates, how do you get some of the finest talent in Microsoft? And Bill immediately said that I always hire people who are smarter than me. And then Steve Jobs told in a different way that I love to hire smart people because they will tell me what I should do. Otherwise, I have to tell them what they should do.
Yeah.
That's a bad place to be, right?
So my question to you is, when you look back in time, do you regret anything that you have done, like any of your decision with respect to career or something?
Career-wise, I don't think I repent anything, but there is one thing that I really feel bad about, which is that I did not spend enough time with my mom. I really feel bad about it. If there is anything that I could ask, I would ask God to give me 1 second more from my dad and mom so I can just tell them how thankful I am to them, how much I love them.
Wonderful.
did you ever had a backup plan? Like, if this
Yes.
doesn't work,
Absolutely. That's a great question. You need to have it. And I have a backup plan for almost everything that I undertake. Um, you know, you cannot know for sure how long you will have what you have. So you need to always have a plan that backs you up, so that you know that if you fall down from 13th floor, right? That's what happens when you grow up in career and you go to the 13th floor. It gets difficult. So if you fall down, what happens from 13th floor? If you fall from first floor, what happens? You may get away. If you fall from 13th floor, what happens? So you need to make sure that at least there's enough cushion out there. If you fall down, you don't get hurt. So yes, I have backup plans and I continue to have them. I would strongly encourage all of you to have that. And especially when you're growing, because that is when you need it. They say, my chemistry teacher said, Hitler was not defeated by the Russian army, but by the Russian winter. When you're climbing the mountain, you start facing different problems as you go up the mountain. It's not the legs that tire you as you climb the mountain. What happens? Yeah, it's a breathing, it's the lungs that come into play, different parts of the body. So when you go up in your career, you get different types of challenges in an organization, especially in a bigger organization. So you need to be aware of it. It is part of what you're paid for, and you need to be prepared with your options. So.
At point of time, after getting into IIM, it's like it's done. And my question
I'm feeling happy.
Yes.
my question is, I think your world started after you passed out from NIT Calicut. So
Yes.
what is the thing that keeps you motivated till now? Because I'm feeling like done now itself, because I'm into IMB. So what's the thing for you which kept you motivated till now or till today?
From childhood, I had something in me that I was born to make a difference in the world. I believed in it. So you can think of it as a hype or whatever. So I wouldn't settle for anything that doesn't get me to the ultimate goal that I had in mind. So they say the vision, that's why you need to have a vision. What does a vision and goal, what do? They pull you towards it, right? They should have the power to pull you. My vision is so inspirational for me that when I go through difficulty, I just look forward to say, yeah, there will come a day when I'll be able to influence and I'll be able to contribute. So that keeps me going. But I have been through that phase where after 12th grade, like when you're in school, you think, I want to go to 8th grade, so you get to wear color clothes on Saturday. Those days, Saturday schools were there. And then you think you want to go to the 11th and 12th grade, so you can wear, pants and shirts, you become big. And then you think that you want to go to a good college, then life will be fine. And then you'll be like, let me get a good job, and then life will be fine. And then you'll say, I want a better job, then life will be fine. It's like it's always a constant struggle.
Lovely.
But it feels like that.
It was very insightful to listen to you. So just have one quick question. This is Athi. So how do you delegate effectively and get results from the people you manage?
So firstly, you have to develop them before you delegate. I believe in the fact that you should not power people before you empower them.
Nice.
Right? So make sure that you're developing the people below you. Bring to a point where they can hold it, and then place a mountain on the shoulder. What I see many leaders do wrongly, because there's this buzz about delegate, you should delegate, and that's how you grow. But think about it. If you are carrying a sack of rice on your back, okay, just because you want to delegate, would you put it on a small boy's shoulder and then say, I'm delegating this bag of rice? Is that right? What happens to the bag of rice? What happens to the boy? Right? Your outcome is not guaranteed. So to influence the right outcome, to get the results, you have to empower the people with skills, talent, tools, techniques, coaching, everything. And when you think they are proficient where they can carry the load, when you think they are that plus, you can keep the mountain on the shoulders.
When you went to the college in that institute, you faced lot of challenge because
Yes.
you don't know anything about programming languages, and other students, like you told, they were very smart.
Yeah.
So how you cope up with that stress? We want to know about that.
How you cope with the stress?
I have cried. I've cried. I would cry in the dark. I showed you the other boy's picture. But then, I used to take long walks. I used to play cricket. And then that is where I was a fast bowler. So I would show my aggression there in the cricket field. And I used to write poems in Tamil. So I used to write poems expressing my frustrations, my depression, etc. So you need to find a way to let it go out, instead of storing it. If you have friends, talk to them. If you have other elders in the family who are open, you can talk to them. But I did not have the right setup, so I used to do it this way.
My question to you is, how do you keep your mind under control? How you used to keep your mind under control?
How do you keep your mind in control? You have to keep your outcome in mind. So you know what you want to get to. Think about, keep the end in mind, then automatically it'll inspire you. See, life, bigger changes. Okay, how many of you have lit a rocket, therefore, not the PSLV type of rocket, the crackers? How many of you? You do.
All of us.
So, how do you do it? Put it in a bottle and then light it? But it is important, if you keep it in the rocket, what happens if it is tilted this way? Where does it go?
Neighbor's house.
Neighbor's house. Exactly. So you have to keep it straight. A small change in angle, will make a big difference in where the rocket lands,
Lovely.
in which direction it takes, right? So life is all about small decisions. Big leaders don't make big decisions. Ambani did not become Ambani by one decision. It is millions of decisions every day in our life. In your life, you take at least 4 to 5 decisions every day. The decision of whether to get up or should I switch off the alarm. Okay? Whether I should give in and then go for a drink or should I finish my work.
Lovely.
Should I leave the office, check my emails and then leave the office, or I'll go home and then I'll do it later. These are the decisions that we take in life, right? These small decisions. And these small decisions is what keeps the rocket, small decision, right? Small angle for the rocket, and then it goes a different way. So it is important that you make your choices. And if you want the outcome, you have to make the right decision. So when I like what you said, I get tempted. Every day you can ask my boss, I would go to him and say, today I'm leaving early. Okay? He would give me a small smile and he'll say, yeah, try it. And I won't leave till 6:30 or 7 from office.
Thanks so much for coming all the way.
My pleasure.
And we have something beautiful. It says that we are grateful to Athi for all your deep insights.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.